being back in this building, back in
Yeah, I was just thinking about that as I'm walking in. I mean, it really seems like yesterday for me that I was actually standing in front of the cameras talking about why I was leaving, and now I'm back and driving in yesterday. I'm very excited, you know. I'm sure that anybody that's followed me or followed me a little bit since I decided to come back, you'll know that, you know, the one thing I've said all along is this was my biggest regret was that in my mind I wish I'd never left Binghamton. And so for me to be back, I'm very excited and I'm looking forward to it. And the trip in yesterday was exciting for me, and to walk around downtown, you know, it brought back a lot of good memories.
How about the stadium itself? I know it's a little different.
That has changed. That has changed. The locker room is similar but different. It's much nicer now. They put some money into this. The outside, the rink, the seating, the jumbotron. I mean, yeah, there's some changes. Very nice.
Yeah, Coach, you said you're excited to be back with the organization. What's the main, one of the big reasons why you're excited to be back here?
You know, there's so many good things about the organization. Ottawa, number one. Binghamton Senators, number two. It kind of starts with Pierre and Randy and filters down to Tom Mitchell. But it's just a great situation for me. I feel appreciated. Everybody treats me very well, and I've got a lot of good friends here. So, you know, again, it would be like anybody leaving and coming back. You know, I'm excited to reconnect with everybody. And I think our team is going to be pretty good this year, although you never really know until you get everybody out of training camp. Just a lot to look forward to.
What do you think you take away from coaching in a different place, and then what do you bring back from what you've learned there?
Well, you know, again, I've been doing this a while, and I can tell you life is all about experiences. And since I left, I've had some good experiences, you know, some that have been challenging, some that have been rewarding. You know, to me, that's what life is all about, and I think I'm probably a better coach today than when I left 4 years ago. And so, again, I'm sure there will be challenges, because with every season, you've got challenges. Even the year that we won the championship, we had challenges, you know, and so that's what it's all about. But for sure, I'm a better coach today than when I left, and I'm more prepared for any challenge. And I don't know what those challenges are just yet, but I guarantee you there will be some.
And Coach, you talk about experience and championship. What can you bring to this team, that championship kind of mindset into the season?
Well, again, let's just talk about experience. I mean, you never really know your group until you get to know your group. And so I can't stand here today and tell you this player is going to be here, this player. That's what training camp is all about, and that's why I won't talk specifics, because I don't know today who's going to be sitting here in this locker room come October 6th. I have no idea, October 16th. So for me, we'll just have to wait and see, and then once we get here, we'll start laying the foundation to be a quality team, an exciting team, an aggressive team, a team that's going to win on most nights. Our dreams, our goals are exactly what every other teams are at this moment, you know. And so it's going to be interesting to see how it all unfolds.
What do you want the identity of the Binghamton Senators to be this season?
We're going to be very, you know, for me right now, as I sit here today, you know, we want to be an aggressive team. We want to be a team that skates. We want to be a team that wins and competes and wins battles. You know, we want to be a disciplined team. I mean, this is all stuff that, for anybody that was here my first go around, it's all the same kind of stuff. You know, we want to be an aggressive team. We don't want to be a team that gets pushed around. We want to be the ones that are initiating, and we want to be exciting. And at the end of the day, we want to win hockey games, but at the same time, we would like the fans to leave every night knowing that we laid it all out there, every single night, every single shift, every single period.
Coach, since your announcement that you were hired back here, what kind of contact have you had with some of the players, if any?
Well, very little, other than development camp up in Ottawa, first week of July. I had a chance to get to know some of them. But again, I don't talk to players at this point in time other than socially, because I don't want to take away from anybody's dream. You know, when they go and they drop the puck on day one up in Ottawa, every single one of the players in camp should have the feeling that if they play and perform well, that they have the opportunity to be in Ottawa number one. So I don't want to take that away from them, and I don't want to start talking about Binghamton, because none of them want to talk to me about Binghamton right now. But when we get down here October 1st or whenever that day is, and they become my players and, you know, I'm their coach, then we'll get to know them a little bit more personally, and we'll be able to do what we need to do at this level, which is develop, help them get to where they need to get to as players, but at the same time we want to win hockey games. And I said the very first time I was here, I don't see why we can't do both. You know, you should be able to develop players, and you should be able to have players prepared for Ottawa for when they need them, but you should also be able to win hockey games. And to me, that's the right formula, and that's what we're going to strive for.
How excited are you just to get to Ottawa and see all the young guys? And
can't you tell? I'm really excited. I mean, I feel like I've been given another opportunity, honestly. And you know, if you'd ever sat in with some of the conversations that I've had with my wife, you know, she would just tell me, you need to get over it, you know, because I've always said, you know, that's one thing, if I could do it all over again. And I'm not big on looking in the rearview mirror. I like to take the experiences, I like to learn, I like to grow, and I like to move on. But this really is a special place for me, you know, and so for me to be back here right now, that's the first part of the first phase. Now what I want to do is make something of it, you know, I really do. I want to make something of it. I want to make sure that every single day we come in here and we grow individually, every player, and we grow as a group. And if we can do that every single day during the course of the season, you can just imagine where we'll be come the middle of March. And if we'll approach it that way, we're developing players, but we're growing our group. And if you do those two things, you never know what can happen.
When this job came vacant, is this something that you automatically thought about, or how did that process?
I did actually. You know, the whole thing kind of was, Randy Lee and I had a good relationship when I was here the first time. And so Randy was somebody in Ottawa that, you know, we wouldn't talk every day, I mean, occasionally we would just touch base. You know, he'd either touch base with me or I would touch base with him. I had actually just signed on to go back to Germany where I was last year, but I did have an out. And I think what you'll find interesting is they didn't want to give me an this is a true story. They didn't want to give me an all-inclusive out. I said, oh, it's fine. I'll take one team. You let me put one team, and I put in the Ottawa Senators. That's not a lie. And I did that before this job ever opened up. So if this hadn't come about, I would have been back in Germany. I would have been back there July 1st. But because that was something that I didn't want to give up on, I thought, I'll just throw it. This was long before Luke ever decided to not come back, you know. My season over there and my new contract went in place in March, just to give you an idea. And so then when I saw that Luke was not going to come back, that he was decided to go and find work somewhere else, I laid an olive branch out to Randy, and that's kind of how the whole thing got started. But true story. So it was almost meant to be, in a way. And it wasn't easy. You know, it wasn't I don't think from my end, I don't think it was a slam dunk. You know, if you were to talk to Randy Lee, I mean, I know they had some really good candidates. So for me to get this opportunity, if you were standing here where I am, I think you'd feel exactly how I feel. You know, I feel very fortunate that they're giving me this opportunity. I'm going to make the most of it.
And Sterl's back with you. That's gotta be great.
Yeah, I mean, that came up in the interview process, and you know, for me, there was no pause, there was no hesitation. You know, if I have this opportunity, there's one guy that I want as my wingman, and that's Steve Sterling. You know, because I think he's as good as it gets when it comes to doing the role that we ask him to do, or that I've asked him to do. So I'm very comfortable with Sterling. I think he does a phenomenal job.
So what's this summer been like for you? It's probably been a whirlwind of getting everything together to go.
Yeah, I mean, it's been a great summer because, you know, if you're walking into something that you just feel is right, you know, there was a lot of, I just felt really good the whole summer. The development camp worked very well. I think Ottawa is in a good place. You know, I think they've got some good young players. And then it's going to be our responsibility, Sterls and I, to help them grow and to get where the organization feels they have the potential to be. You know, and if you take a look back, I mean, my first year, I remember Mike Hoffman was a fourth line player through that Calder Cup run, but we had him running our power play. I mean, that's kind of the way we roll. And Robin Leonard did not start game 1 against Manchester the year that we won the Calder Cup. He was on the bench, but he ended up being the Calder Cup MVP, you know. So for me, I think my vision and my approach aligns exactly with Pierre and Randy and what they want to do as an organization, which is make the young players grow, but at the same time, they got to earn it. You can't just give it to them. And so if I'm a little bit of a throwback that way, well, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's just how I am, it's who I am, it's the approach that I like to take. So we'll just kind of see how this all folds out. But I do think that Randy and Pierre and Steve and I, we have the same vision for what it takes to develop these kids.